The Empire.
How about that for an intro tune? Right, we're back. We said after the last podcast, Warminster away, that we'd record one next time we won a game. Unfortunately, it's been a month, but today is a very special day because today this happened. That, of course, the sound of the mighty Showmen beating Bath CC again on their own patch.
2 from 2. 2 from 2.
Production value. Decent day out, wasn't it, Reg?
Good day out, mate.
Not too bad.
Led by the young guns, mate.
We did alright, didn't we? I mean, at some point, they might show us a little bit of respect, do you think?
No, probably not.
Couple more, maybe. Couple more.
Couple of cunts.
Two in a row. Well, obviously, I'm joined by Reese Croker, my co-host, and stars of the day, really. So, the first guest I want to introduce, his first appearance on the podcast, picked up a superb 5-wicket haul today, which we'll get onto later. Arth, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate.
Excellent, superb. We have Tom Barton, who wasn't invited on this podcast, to be honest, and just turned up. So, Bart, well done.
Cheers, mate. Good to be here.
And Andy Veal, who had a 29-ball stay at the crease, which I'm sure we're going to get up to later. Andy, how are you?
Epic.
Lockdown hands?
Lockdown hand, still growing.
Good. So,
Sweat.
it's taken us 5 weeks of cricket, 2 washouts, and a couple of disappointing results. But finally, Bath CC were the opposition for Frome's first victory.
Bath CC first team.
Bath CC first team, sorry, yeah.
Correct.
Bath CC first team, according to Play Cricket.
I'm not sure about that.
I do have to add one more guest who I think will become the star of the show as we go on. So we'll say a brief hello and then get on to his heroics today. But Watsy, welcome onto the podcast for the first time.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Nervous?
Larry. Need a few more beers and I'll give it the shakes.
It's okay, mate. It's natural. So, obviously, Reggie, going into the game today, you know, obviously off the back of no wins so far in COVID Group A, what was sort of like the mood like for us from your point of view?
I think we were up for it, man. I think we were up for it from ball one.
It's a little bit of a difference this week, wasn't there?
Yeah.
It was just something a little bit different about the game. Like we always talk, don't we, in the huddle and stuff about enjoying our cricket, make sure we have fun, and you know, sometimes when we play teams that we know are better than us, we sort of want to make sure that we learn from the stuff that they do and everything. But it was just a little bit of a difference today, wasn't there? We sort of felt like we could make an impact.
Yeah, we embarrassed them, really, didn't we?
And that's it. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
So, obviously down at North Parade, obviously off the back of last year's win, I'd spoken to a few of the guys before the game and, you know, kind of wound them up a little bit, making a bit of fun, joke of the situation. But I got the feeling from them that they didn't really pose us as much of a threat, really.
Which is quite disrespectful from them.
Well, but when you look at the lineup that they've got, I mean, you kind of have to have a bit of arrogance about you sometimes, don't you? When you want to.
Yeah, Shen ain't got no team spirit.
I hope no one from Bath is listening to this. Why would they be? We've got some noise pollution coming on here. So obviously we won the toss, chose the field first because everyone knows that Frome are brilliant at chasing, obviously. So.
Bit of rain around as well.
What was the wicket like, Barts?
We're just trying to make a game of it.
I think it was pretty good. I think it might have spun a bit. A little bit off the
Did you
seam.
think?
Might have spun there, didn't it? I mean, I didn't see any spin, to be honest, but
It was a pretty good wicket.
My guess was
Better than anything we've played on this year.
so we got a couple of early wickets. Obviously, like you managed to nick off Scriv, and then Barts, you picked up one, and we were sort of in the game. But I guess it's a good point to bring in Arth. So, like going into the season, Arth, before this week, obviously Sparky had a word with you and said, look, we're going to give you a chance to bowl every week. What's it been like taking on that role as First team off spinner.
Well, at the start of the season, I was a little bit nervous about it, but you know, it's good to get a lot of backing from everyone who's there, and you know, you get a couple of good overs under your belt, and everyone's behind you, and it fills you with confidence, and the next thing you know, you're bowling well.
That's definitely picking up on the audio here. Reese, can you sort out your son? Or, I mean, because we can't go on like this. It's madness. This is the real proper production value you get from the Frome CC podcast. Freddie Croker making an appearance. Fred, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Schweb.
Freddie, can you... Whoa! We need Freddie to give us a Schweb. Freddie, give us a Schweb. Give us a Schweb! No, but he's still more comfortable than Watsy in the podcast arena. And obviously for you, Arth, like you've had some good weeks. Like Bath 2's game when we played them, you know, you bowled nicely, and obviously reports down from Noel that you bowled really well. So, you know, coming in today, sort of full of confidence.
Fairly confident. Yeah, I would say fairly confident, but you know, it's when you're bowling against some good players like
Short
today.
boundary as well, isn't it?
A short boundary. I came to today and I was like, Jesus, boundary's quite short.
Batter's game though, isn't it, mate?
Exactly, and I
Definitely.
thought got my foot there.
Would you say, Arth, at this point that you're the best off spinner in your family?
No.
What about the club?
No.
Even with me old man's arthritis, he's probably still better than me.
Arthur-itis.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Or Arthur
What on what?
in the tiger.
So for those people that weren't at the game today,
Which they should have been.
well, they should have been. We had a good.
I agree one with a fucking over just better.
So we had, we were never like behind the game, but it always felt like one partnership would sort of take it away. And the way that Arth bowled, I guess it's easy from sort of standing at slip to see how well you bowled. But I mean, from your point of view, Vila, what did you make of Arth's performance today?
Well, he bowled with very good control. That's the main thing.
No, it's the rest.
He bowled
so well.
He offered it up and actually gave it some revs, so he wasn't just firing it through. So he just asked questions of the batsman all the time, and they tried to play some shots of him, cut him onto the wickets a couple of times because they were trying to force him because he didn't give.
Never cut the off spinner, Andy.
Never cut an off spinner.
Rookie mistake, isn't
I
it?
think the best thing for me was every time you got hit for a boundary, you sort of come out with a
Yeah,
wicket.
that's
like
a really good point as
2 or
well.
3 balls later. Right?
And when you drop that catch
Yeah.
as well, proper goober. Dropped it for 4 as well.
Very middle finger off.
Really hurt.
So you got the Bath first team captain out. Ben Wells,
Yeah.
Casey Aldridge, Harry Hankins.
Yeah.
Some pretty good scouts. Have you had a better day for Frome, would you say?
No, I wouldn't say no. I probably haven't had a better day for Frome.
Good.
Why did none of them sweep you? Why
I mean,
no sweeps?
they tried to reverse sweep me once.
Yeah, in your face, Mountie, if you're listening.
Lenny was onto it like a flash.
Well, I kind of know he likes to reverse sweep. I had a bit of back and forth in the week, and I was telling him I was going to catch him when he went to play the reverse sweep.
Yeah.
But didn't quite carry, unfortunately. There was a good moment. So we had him like on the racks, and Reggie came back, and I thought it was a brilliant bit of captaincy from Sparks. Actually, one thing that I myself, when I was a captain, I was never like attacking enough. But there was a point where we could have brought Watsy into the attack when we had him. I don't know, whatever it was, 80, 90 for 6 or whatever it was.
Yeah, they were shit.
But I think Sparky sort of realised that we had to try and win the game right there. So it came back to you, Reggie, you got the breakthrough, and then we managed to see him off. But before that, we dropped a couple of catches. Watsy, can you talk us through yours?
It's probably the quickest ball I've had to try to catch.
Oh,
even before your time, if you're in the semicircle of JB, the ex-overseas player, it was even quicker than he hits it. So
JB was he the one who never got any runs and played secondary cricket?
If you underarm half volley.
Sorry, JB, if you're listening, I don't know you, but it's just what I've heard.
Was the catch the quickest ball you faced today? Was it?
100%.
Great question.
It's the highest ball I've had to face.
So stood at mid on, you got one that was kind of like waist high, nice and easy, straight at you, and you dropped it. That's your excuses.
Well, watch the matchman play a hook shot. You don't really expect it coming to you at mid on. You kind of expect it a bit square. He kind of flat.
Who bowled that? Who bowled that?
Neil Dresch.
Was that Nels?
Big bird.
Who was fucking good as well?
He was class.
He bowled really well.
Second ball wicket.
Neil was really good. Can we talk about our umpire for a minute?
Our
Well, he is our umpire, isn't he?
I think.
Does anyone know his name?
Ian.
Trigger. Oh, sorry. Tim.
The way he fires batters out with that little fuck off, isn't it? We had a live on-field player review for LBW today.
He did. And he reviewed.
He said, "Well, batsman pitch in line and hit you in line, and it was hitting the top." And he was probably 1 out of 3 there, wasn't he?
I think so. Yeah. It was definitely pitching outside leg, definitely going over the top, and
it probably hit him in line. In fairness,
it hit him in line. But
do you know what I like about him though? Is that he is like, when they appeal, you know you're out straight away or not. Like there's none of that like delay and then fuck off. It's always like no, bang. You're out.
You're gone.
Paul Mitchell.
Is there?
Paul Mitchell.
Belter.
Tell me about his running between the wickets today,
Was he
Reg.
playing rugby or was he playing cricket today? I mean, what a fucking knob.
We can't put this out.
Yeah.
That's really rude.
can't.
That's really rude.
He wants to run down the wicket and run in the way of someone trying to throw the ball.
He did apologise. He did apologise.
He did apologise. So what happened was,
What happened?
nowadays, with all the AIDS going around, the batter, as ridiculous. I can stand right next to Andy at slip and next to Charlie when he's keeping, but as a batter, you have to run 2 wickets over. So there was a moment where there were 9 down and they had a bit of a bunny batting at 11, and he dropped one at his feet. And Paul Mitchell calls for the 1, but the batter doesn't move. So Mitchell goes down that second strip, and then because Smithy's about to pick it up, and all he had to do was pick it up and roll it down the other end.
By the stumps.
He sort of realised he was in trouble, and he ran across 2 wicket lanes and bumped straight into Smithy, which caused a bit of a controversy. What was your view of that, Andy Deal?
Well, I think if Smithy had played a bit more rugby, he'd have been in a much better state, because
Soft, didn't he?
if he'd just driven right through Mitchell, put him up in the air,
Yes.
and then
he wouldn't have done it
fired
again,
the
would
ball down, he'd have learned.
So what you're saying
We've definitely got a bouncer.
is that Smithy should have forgotten about the ball,
Yeah,
just gone for the man,
Taking him out.
taken him down,
take him out, and
and
then
then pick the ball up. Oh no, that wouldn't help. Would it?
No.
Well, it depends how far he whacked Mitchell back. He could have run him out.
Because Mitchell was always going to make his ground.
Yeah.
Because the was it Maxi at number 11.
Who?
Max
Max.
was his name.
Shout out to Max.
Max was at number 11, who could, I'm not sure which end, he was holding the same end of the bat that I was. And
Well, we'll get onto that.
we'll get to that. And Max was still standing in. Much and Max were standing at the same place in time as the ball was there, and then all of a sudden, Smithy was there. Could have driven him out of the way. Could have picked the ball up, but he couldn't because Much was standing in the way. He should have just knocked 10 bells of shit out of him, to be fair, but he didn't. Smithy, that's the problem. There's your problem. What you need in that situation is a Dan Dredge. He'd have gone through the man, put him up in the air, upside down, and then slammed him. He would have actually beaten him up on the pitch.
Is he? I don't know. Is he hard though, Dennis? Is he hard though?
I'd say he's got a bit more physics.
He's
about
a bit
him
like
than
Reese.
Smith.
Like they talk a good game, but is he actually hard?
I
Like
don't
he
know,
was,
that many front crooks you see fucking backed up last week.
you were like when he came over to you, you were like, "Mate, what are you doing?" You fucking backed down like a little kid. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. I swayed more on you. I'm so sorry. Sorry. Fucking ran away and hid in the changing room. It's embarrassing. Anyway.
You're full of it.
The hero of the day, Mark Watts, picked up the final wicket, and we were chasing 141. Wheeze, confident at halfway?
Yeah, very. Even more confident when Maggie was just banging it halfway down and you were just progressing
It
through
wasn't a greatest start, that was it?
Yeah.
I'll guide that through point
Yeah.
3 times
You
in a
keep
row.
calling me throwdowns, pal.
He had
Just
4
cut it
slips
through
and a
point.
gully and no one to cover. It was a friendly start.
It was piss poor ball.
Well, it was
Does he
weird
play for
because
Sunset?
yeah, he's got a contract.
Fuck.
Set the tone.
Poor lad.
I mean, he got a lot of bounce. He wasn't, he was sharp, but he wasn't
They're
like the
signing
way
him.
people talk about him is that he's like
They're signing
rapid.
anyone these days, isn't it?
I thought he was rapid.
Lansdowne.
I thought it was the best
I mean,
bowler I've seen in years.
No one's quicker than Lansdowne.
So getting into the run chase, obviously Bath TC with the second quickest attack in the league. We were obviously a little bit scared, but we'd faced Lansdowne a few weeks before and been okay, hadn't we? So
Yeah.
obviously with that, what's his name? Jordan Smith. Jordan
Yeah.
Smith?
No,
Josh
Well, we
Smith.
still had a war in, so we were okay.
Mate, we survived with all of our teeth and no helmets broken when we went to Lansdowne because they're fucking quick. Oh god, fucking rapid. So
Shit.
140, get into a bit of trouble. 40 for 3 when Reese kicked a straight one, and then he was LBW candidate.
Peter.
But before all of that,
Peter.
forget about that.
Spit it out.
Yeah. Andy, can you talk us through your 29 ball 2, please?
Well, what happened was, they were quite quick, I thought, and I'm quite old.
Cataracts as well.
Yeah, my cataracts and
What
the...
did Casey
You
Aldridge
false
say to
knee.
you at the end of 1 over? We both had quite a chuckle at that.
Yeah, I think he said something along the lines of,
Such
"He's
shit.
such a shit
Bastard."
batsman.
And me and Peter just crying.
Yep.
I said, "You
To which
just
I
talking
went-
shit.
I genuinely said to him, yes I am.
And I could be your dad.
Yeah.
Actually, you could because he's 18. You could be his grandfather.
I literally
probably.
said to him in the next bombardment of shells he fired down on me. I went, I genuinely could be your father. And then and I went, I'm more than twice your age. And he just looked at me and went,
Comfortably more than twice his age.
yeah.
Just shut
I
up.
could be your granddad, to be fair.
Probably good in
I
Twitter.
could be, especially, well,
Some areas of Frome.
some areas of Frome, in most areas of Frome.
Fingering.
I think
I should just point out after that comment, we've all had several pints of Thatcher's / San Miguel 61 deep.
Phosphorus.
So Andy, obviously a bit of chin music. How many of those 29 do you reckon you hit with your cricket bat?
Well, I'm going to say 50%.
Nah, fuck off! You're at 50%. No way. No way.
Maybe 30?
20.
30%. Well, the rest of
You were quite good at hitting it when they got it straight, though, weren't you?
Yeah, because they were nearly at me.
You missed a cut shot off one of those long hops, and you went ah.
I did. I gave it the old
Angry.
angry.
I'm angry now.
Yeah, because I missed that, and then I realised my back foot was.
On the
Back.
umpire's feet.
It was. I essentially trod on someone else's foot at square leg, but it was all right. He was quite quick.
How'd you get out in the end?
Snicked off to the shit bag.
Who?
Good.
Who's the shit bag?
Max.
Max!
Oh, the left armour.
Yeah.
Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really harsh, Andy. Thanks.
Sorry,
Thanks, Arthur.
Max is a nice lad. He bowled very well. Well played, Max.
He's a better bowler than you are a batter, in fairness.
And a bloke.
Yeah, definitely a better bloke than you, without question.
Everything's bad there.
Swed.
Right, so that was Reese's belly. Right, we move forward. So 79 for 6. And I'll be honest, I didn't give us much of a chance. Reggie?
I had my first time at 76.
Yeah, Andy, I was stood over on the little sort of elevated area there with some really good blokes, like all the great blokes from Bath that are just better blokes than those of you at Frome. And we were just talking and said, "Was the game over?" And I was like, "No, that's how it was because they're really good blokes, mate."
My mates, cricket friends.
They're really good, really good blokes. And they said, "What's the Wasp?" And when I was looking and I was expecting Arthur and I saw Watsy and I was like, 6, 5, 4. Who's that?
That was me.
Fucking hell. If you can smell that on the podcast, that is horrible.
Somebody's got it right.
Jesus. Right, let's get on to the hero of the hour.
Oh, what a player.
Before we come on to you, Watsy, Tom Barton, best looking man in Frome. 79 for 6, you see Watsy striding out. What's the conversation between the two of you?
It's all gone fucking shit, though.
It's all gone wrong.
What's he
Watsy's gone for piss, so you're going to have to elongate this comment.
I'll have to speak for Watsy then.
What was the conversation like, Butts?
At least to be more eloquent.
At 79 for 6 with Watsy coming in, you're probably not thinking about winning the game.
Just not embarrassing yourself.
You're just thinking
Get
about,
to 90.
about watching the ball and so we just did that for half an hour and then when it looks like you can win, then it starts to get a little bit more...
I did that for 45 minutes.
Squeaky, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that's when Letty left the bar and returned to the gazebo.
I was struggling a bit because I've got a bit of a history with this. So in tight run chases in the past, all the way through my life, I really struggled to watch the game. I sort of would rather go somewhere where I can't hear or see anything and then just like poke my head out and sort of see what the score is. But like when you're supposed to be the coach, it's a little bit difficult to do that. So I was pacing, so I went from the top to like the middle and then down to the gazebo, then back up to the middle. But if you move around enough, you convince yourself that by moving you're not going to ruin what's happening out there. And I'll be honest, like 79 for 6, you know, that stage, just so far away from victory, I wasn't nervous, but it was like you said, I think it was when we got down to 32. Down to 32, and I think we had about 9 overs left. That was when I started getting a little bit nervy. So, Mark Watts, back from the toilet, off the back of a stunning century against 9 pissed up lads, 1 fat bloke, and bloke who never played cricket before.
3 fat blokes.
Eight blokes who never played.
You must have been pretty confident.
Well, kind of the game on Sunday wasn't really an innings. It was I've had a beer before and they
Took the edge off.
Kind of got rid of the shakes first. It was all looking like flat bat mid wicket, kind of not really comparing the heaviest man of cricket compared to
Reece.
Not Reece, the guy who squared up to Reece actually, the other guy.
What, the bloke who Reece ran away from?
That guy, that guy.
Yeah.
I'm missing this.
Compared to Casey Aldridge, you know, the other guy kind of probably span a bit more, but the other guy kind of, you know, a few yards of pace quicker, kind of hit the crease with quicker, you know.
At what point in that run chase then, you two, did you feel like we could win this? Like, at what point did it go from like, let's just bat some time and see what happens, to right, here's what we need to do to win?
Well, I think when I went in the bat, it was like 60 yards. Was it 60 yards? Or a bit less?
70.
How many was it?
I don't know. I
79.
You needed 63 when you came in.
Okay, so I think when it still got to the teens, we had a plan.
You didn't think we were going to win until they got to the teams?
One.
I didn't think we were going to win until we got to 1.
We had a plan in place because we said, like, obviously, well, I can't hit the covers anyway. I'm quite autistic in front of square, but anything
what?
anything kind of like with the sheer pace of the Rocket Man, Casey Aldridge, kind of running
It's
through.
not as quick as Luke to save though. Is he?
He's not.
He's not
I
as
didn't
quick as Luke
think
to
so.
save. No.
Yeah, but we kind of said like
Poor me.
they try to bowl, kind of don't know how to try and bowl us out. We like watching you guys open. Everyone's like around your nose. You like the ball for sure, but
Fucking slow.
seeing a shaking number 8 come in, Curtin Road, and they thought, we could bowl in his half and kind of either nick him off or bowl him. But
You were very good at playing and missing and not edging it, though, weren't you?
it's Gothic leave, to be honest.
Ideal.
I say. Kind of hang like a Steve Smith, hang it out in a.
Who was it? Which of the two of you flicked much over forward down to find name? Was that you, was?
Yeah, he bowled a full one.
Yeah, you just got a lovely little touch on it down to find leg.
The plan was, it's a great plan. It's only look to score 1 to 3rd man.
But then when they put 2 third mans in.
No, that's fine. But if you keep doing that, they will try and bowl you a Yorker, and it might be a full toss, and you might nick it to fine leg for 4.
Say that, bear in mind, chose before.
And it works!
With Scribs, you played a miss at Scribs trying to hit through cover, swing it away, and play a miss every ball. So I thought,
Jack Squivens.
if you try and run it down, well, again, we said like just if you get a bat and ball and it's not to a person, you can look to go one. That was my as a tail ender. That was my method.
Should we have a cigar already?
Andy, you stink.
Got the Cubans, Reg.
All right, so Barts, you've done all the hard work. You've put on 56, 7 to win. What the fuck happened?
What are you doing, cunt?
Did you not fancy the winning runs?
Yeah, full toss. Just
Towed it.
Only in for 1, you see.
You know what was interesting is that throughout the game, when they were batting, they didn't seem like the way they approached it like they had no respect or worry about the game. They didn't care that they lost wickets. They didn't think that we were much to worry about. And they approached their batting that way. And then in the same way that they did in the cup game last year, they didn't really respect the chance that we could win the game at any point until it got too late. And then all of a sudden, it was like a bit of panic. And when you got out, there was like a big celebration, wasn't there? Like you launched it up in the air, they all came in, but it was too late by then. Like we had seven to win.
4 wickets now.
Yeah, off the 2 overs.
Look at like on what you said. Kind of when me and Barts were in, they said they'll give us 1. They'll bowl us out. They backed kind of the pace of the bowlers. They said we heard them in the outfit kind of like we'll bowl them out or we'll nick them off. Like they wouldn't get 1. So that's kind of like the reason. Kind of method behind the madness. Kind of we get a bat and we're going to push to the field. That wasn't the 1. That's why. That's kind of you back ourselves in a straight.
I think they didn't quite take it seriously. They might lose the game until they needed about 15.
Well, you can tell
by which point
the same thing, exactly the same thing.
Still, all they can do is try and bowl us out and bowl Yorkers. And I said to Watsy, can't bowl you a bouncer, mate, because top edge is 6.
Yeah.
So,
So
there was a definite mixture of bullshit and arrogance with them today, and I don't mean that disrespectfully to them, but they always thought that they were going to boss us.
I think that's important, like, and obviously, like, if there is anyone from Bath listening to this, it's just our point of view, our perspective. But it felt like they didn't have any concern or worry whatsoever that they were going to lose to us at any stage in that game until it got too late.
Yeah.
You felt like Reggie and I, we were driving back across from Bath. You know, it felt like their players have got so much talent and ability in their side that I don't know if they've got enough respect for the game.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe that's harsh, but it just felt like all the way through today, we always believed that we had a chance to win the game, and we tried our absolute hardest at every stage in that game. All of us. Some of us it worked, some of us it didn't, but it didn't feel like that was the case. And then all of a sudden, it was too late.
I thought that at certain points where we actually used our brain to apply ourselves a bit, they didn't actually convert that with their own talent. So they never bowled at the stumps, really. They bowled.
We said about the amount of times we played and missed.
Yeah, they tried to intimidate with short bowling, or they were. Or just back of the length, hard length all the time, rather than actually just going, do you know what? This old fucker at number 3. Honestly, if we pitch the ball up to that dick, he's going to snick off. But no, we're going to bowl at his head. Sure enough, But it was one of those things. It happened all the way through the entire innings. They didn't attack the stumps. They didn't attack the bowling areas well enough. They were a good bowling outfit, obviously, but they didn't.
The thumbnail for this podcast is going to have to be you again.
But they didn't have they didn't follow through on a bowling game plan. They didn't actually think about what areas they were bowling in.
So the hero of the day,
thank you,
is
Rob.
arguable. Watsy and Arth. Obviously, Arth did the damage with the ball. Watsy did with the bat. But we were having a chat, weren't we, Arth, on the bench. I was one of the many different places I paced to and then stopped. And I said to you, mate, imagine getting 5 for it, then hitting the runs, at Bath on their own ground. So you walk out with 7 to win.
Yeah.
And how many run-outs could there have been in those 7? At least 4 or 5.
Equal fingers.
They just didn't hit the stumps. But the sound you heard at the start of this podcast was Arthur hitting the winning runs to cap off the day. What was that like?
I was honestly, I've never been that nervous batting before. I was really, really nervous, and he's bowled it, I've hit it, gone past the bowler, and I think, it's one there. And then mid-on's really tight because he's hidden behind Watsy. I'm going, fuck me, I'm out here.
Behind both his ears.
And then
Poor fucker should have pinned him back.
so I managed I thought when I've hit it past and mid-on's appeared from behind Watsy. It's the end of it's the end. I'm not making this. I'm not making this. And he's fumbled it and made it. And honestly, just relief. Honestly, never been so nervous.
Did you have a semi?
No, mate. I was a bit of shit hanging at me. I was like,
It's funny because we've all sort of had different journeys to get to this point, right? Vita's played for a few different clubs. Reggie, I have as well. But Arthur and Watts, you've come up through the youth, and you get to sort of these big moments in seasons. We've had them in the past where we've played cup finals and cup semi-finals. We've had these big moments, and we always seem to the big moments. We always seem to win, and I think that's a really, really good habit to get into.
It's a good quality to have, isn't it?
Yeah.
Those big moments when all the pressure's on, everyone's just squeezing.
I think the biggest thing for me today
It's easy to choke.
is Bath had countless amount of people there watching today. We had a small group sat sort of kind of together. Every run that Watsy and Bart's and Arthur scored, there was a massive eruption. Massive.
Even for that wide that Harry Hankins bowled when we needed 3 to win.
It definitely made a difference.
But it's true that the Frome Massive is
Frome Ultras.
It's a huge part of it because, as Reece said, it's like whenever you hit a run in tight situations, you think it in it, but when you're out there batting, you do hear it, you do appreciate it, you get it, and it's a nice thing to hear. It's always hats off to those guys that turn up and do that. So
and from where we were to where we are now, it's kind of tough really to sum it up in a sentence, but in 2017 when we started in the Shrubbery, we just wanted to get out of that league at any cost. We didn't care if we finished first or second or third as it was there.
because it's bullshit.
We just wanted to get out of that league. And then we had a real battle in 2018. And then won it in 2019. With everything that happened in the Cup and all the rest of it, we built something special, but you still never expect to go to Bath and beat their first team. Or as close to their first team as will play.
On their own dummy, which is lovely, isn't it?
What do you think? Next year, 3 in a row?
I think we just all go win the league and just beat them again in a couple of years.
Maybe we'll just be like Prem 1 champions in 2022. Should we just do that? Should we just do that? May as well. If we win another game of cricket this year, we might do another podcast.
I think we should do them next week.
We're not going to invite 40 in to talk about this 350.
Fuck that.
Oh, hang on a minute. Well, you're right. I mean, we do have to round up the other games. The only reason we haven't rounded up the other games is because they both lost. But Shane Ford 3 for 23. Reece, what do you think?
Couldn't give a fuck.
Obviously you've got 5 for today, so the knock at the door is a little bit quieter than it would have been. But have you got one eye on Shane Ford and one eye on Midsummer Norton?
Just keep ripping it, Shane.
Well, 40 bar well, but I'm concentrating on Norton at the moment.
Yeah. The most diplomatic, wonderful response I think could have come from that.
How do you feel about 40 bucks?
40.
Well, I mean, obviously, Bart's knows what it's like to have to face Shane in the match, and you were humbled, embarrassed, weren't you? I mean, he made you look shit. He made you look stupid. Casey Aldridge, Paul Mitchell, Harry Hankins.
Shane Ford.
Shane Ford.
Right there.
It was a good catch though.
Bamboozled by the beard.
So next week is I guess after this it's going to be tough, But next week is the game that we all earmarked as the big one in the season. See. But we're going to win next week against Norton.
I'd like to think so, mate. Yeah. At home? Yeah.
We never lose at home.
No. How many games have we lost at home since you started playing?
I don't know, like
About
15.
Yeah. Yeah, like 35.
Not many. All right, good. Well, if we do win next week, you'll hear from us. If we lose, then likelihood is that we'll just slag Norton off on our podcast account and not do a podcast. We will definitely do one after last game of the season, won't we, Rich?
Keynsham.
Yeah, because they're not supposed to be very good, are they? So we might win that one.
When?
Can we still win COVID Group A?
If we win all our games.
So stay up. We'll stay up.
We've two rained off, 2 losses, and 1 win.
Yeah, we just need to stay in the COVID group.
Yeah, we don't want to drop down, do
We
we?
should stay afloat, isn't it?
Okay, good.
I think it's great that we'll be playing cricket again next season.
Oh.
Well,
Bless you, my son.
we'll leave it to Andy Veal, the lockdown hand.
I think we should shout out.
Who are we going to shout out?
Shameful.
Mitchell for blocking.
Paul Mitchell for playing rugby. Or Jack Scribbins for whatever fucking shit they are 2 games in a row.
On a serious note, though.
What is it?
I don't know any of these people. Sorry, guys.
One thing.
Yeah, they don't know me either.
Luke
They don't know me either.
Luke to say.
Josh Smith.
Fine, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
We'll shout out Josh Smith.
Well done, man. You're fastest in the league.
Fucking glad we don't have to face that bloke again.
Fucking hell.
Apart from one
Hashtag 1 out,
So
all out.
fucking quick.
On 1 knee.
Well, that's it from us. 37 minutes of your day ruined. So if you're still listening, then you're fucking stupid. But well done for making it this far.
Yeah.
And we'll be back maybe if we ever win another game.
I think we probably
All right.
will. We're a fucking good team.